What do you think when someone mentions the topic of periods? I know, periods. But what kind of period are we talking about? The one at the end of a sentence? Or the one where girls are so-called mean the whole week? We're talking about the menstrual cycle of a girl. And when many people hear the topic of menstrual cycles, a lot of males say, ew, like that's gross. Or even like, I'm not gonna be around her for a whole week. Or even, wow, no wonder she's mean. Sophie Cousins did a little bit of research in Nepal. And this article she wrote is published on March 14th of 2020, titled Rethinking Period Poverty. In this article, she is first off talking about how negative being poor is, because people can simply not buy menstrual cycle supplies. And with not being able to buy menstrual cycle supplies, there was a 7-year-old girl in Nepal that started her period, and she had nothing to help her. So she took a dirty old piece of clothing, wrapped herself up in it so it would help her catch the menstrual flow. And you'd think, is she gonna reuse that piece of clothing? Or is she gonna throw it away? Well, what else is she gonna use? Because she's gonna have her period for the rest of her life till she gets older. And that's what we wonder. That same 7-year-old girl was then told by her mother that her menstrual cycle every single month was a punishment from God. It was a punishment from God because she was not pregnant. Now, a lot of us may think being pregnant at 7 is pretty bad. I mean, you're not mentally stable. You're still in elementary school. But also, it'd be looked at by different cultures as well. So in 2007, the government of Nepal was able to distribute menstrual supplies to schools. And with this, it helped a lot of girls in schools. It helped them be able to function better at school and not keep on thinking about how she's just casually having her period. Well, it affected a girl differently. In that same school year, there was a girl that had started her period at school. And obviously she did not know exactly that she started her period until students and grown adult teachers were making fun of her. They were making fun of her because they could physically see that she had started her period. And that same night, she went home and she took her own life. Another research went on. It was by Cristobal Kambala, and this was to help women and girls in poverty. This was to see if menstrual supplies that were available to them, if it would actually help them, and how it would help them. In this article, it was titled, Acceptability of Menstrual Products, Intervention for Menstrual Hygiene Management Among Women and Girls in Malawi. And this article was published on November 23rd of 2020. The supplies that Kambala was able to hand out to the women and children that were in need of menstrual cycle supplies, they saw awesome results. There wasn't any odor, because if anyone knows blood, yes, I know blood, it does give off a rusty iron smell. And because of the help of menstrual supplies that were given to them, they were not able to smell that smell because of it being reduced by the proper care. And also with the proper care, they were able to not see any more stains on their clothing. that means they would be able to get to wear those pants again. There's not going to be a huge stain on them or any other type of clothing or any products that you would use. But with different countries, when somebody says period, they hide. A female health provider ended up sharing in this public research of Kabbalah's that usually when a girl would go through her menstrual cycle, she would be locked behind doors for 7 days. In those 7 days, she would not be able to see any men to have the risk taken from her. In Kabbalah's research, there was a 16-year-old girl that also stated that money was an issue. She specifically said, pads are used when money is available, and pieces of clothes or blanket is used when there is no money. With the help of companies freely distributing menstrual supplies, it can simply help or even save a girl's life. Literally save a girl's life. I will ask this again. What do you think when someone mentions the topic of periods? Do you say ooh now? Or do you say, oh wow, she's mean? Or like, what happened to her? Why is she acting like that? Oh, I'll see her next week. Maybe she won't be acting like that anymore. After hearing this speech, you should think about how girls in different countries suffer because they personally do not have the supplies. And how that one girl ended up committing suicide because not only students bullied her, but also teachers as well. With this being said, public places all over the world should be able to freely give menstrual supplies to girls that are in need. Periods should also be known as a female growing in her journey, and she should be supported. Women should not be shamed for something that is natural to their own bodies. Period poverty is a real frustrating thing. It's a real frustrating thing. And you can help by reaching out to others like I have today. Thank you.